On the ferry, I thought about humanity and about all our strange behaviors. I had to ask myself, why do we actually want adventures? Why do we climb on high mountains or drive through deadly dry deserts? Why do we drive in fast cars or fly high in planes? So why do we like to take all these big risks to lose our life forever, just in order to have some temporary fun? And if you think a bit further, you would have to ask even deeper. Why do we smoke, drink coffee or take alcohol and drugs? Or why do we love so much all these unhealthy stuff? We roast, fry, cook and mix what we eat. We even poison, modify genetically and irrigate our foods. And put lots of preservatives, colors and other chemicals in it. Is there any reason why we don't care about contamination, radiation, microplastics or even species extinction? It seems we're doing all this carelessly and just for our fun. Why do we seem to totally forget about the quality of life for our children and grandchildren? Why is a healthy and sustainable lifestyle still so unpopular and boring, and the opposite still so exciting and popular? Why do the people in poor countries want all this luxury too? We want to heat and cool as much as we think we need, while we waste 50% of all our electricity only in these power lines. We leave the lights on in the night, we wrap everything in plastic, even water and air. And all of our so-called high-tech products have a very limited and calculated lifespan in order to be able to sell more of them in the future. But in the end, they only increase the crazy amount of waste. Our economy and our financial system is right now collapsing in front of our eyes, but there is no plan B, and there is no planet B either. It seems we can only keep on going and see what might happen with all of us here. But who wonders? Most of us are traumatized since our childhood, and in all these years we haven't really managed to collectively heal from it. We are human, and we all seem to be egocentric, naive, stubborn, jealous and lazy. Our love relationships are usually difficult and full of triggers, and many of us still suffer from loneliness and emotional neglection. We teach our children a lot of rubbish in school, instead of showing them how to really communicate with others, and how to recognize and feel your own basic needs, and fulfill them in a healthy and sustainable way. When we get ill, we trust the pharma industry more with all their pills, vaccines and chemotherapy than our own intuition. We have been tinkering with artificial intelligence already for years, and now that the development is really exploding into our faces, it now occurs to us that we have completely forgotten to teach any moral to our great machines? What if they really get able to develop their own consciousness? Humanity really has got such a strange madhouse. And if there would be not equally amounts of love and beauty in us too, life would be so senseless and really depressing. But we definitely have the magic of encounters and love with each other, and the sweet tenderness and our amazing sexuality. There is the amazing beauty of our bodies and of all living creatures on this planet. We have created these healing worlds of music and art, and we have an always changing and timeless nature around us, in always different ancient landscapes. We have the warmth and the bright light of the sun, and countless stars in an endless universe in the night. Who could ever really imagine in what kind of reality we are really living in? It's all still far beyond of any understanding. We have still no idea what light really is, or why gravity is occurring. So maybe we still can only really grasp our world just a tiny bit. Even our existence is still totally mystical and magic, isn't it? The most important thing in life seems to me to get a good balance between these two poles of light and darkness, and to try to enjoy all these countless shades of grey in between them. And for that, it really helps to have some good fun, doesn't it? And it sounds so stupid, but I can tell you, putting a container of high explosive liquid on top of a powerful and glowing hot engine, and put all that in between your legs, and ride on that like on a horse through the deadly dry desert, under a burning hot sun, that makes really good fun. And it really can balance out even my darkest fears and worries about our future. And it makes my life worth again to be lived. Isn't that strange? I guess it is. Now I have really arrived in the middle of the desert. I can feel my inner spin is slowing down. It feels like a homecoming. All works out so much slower here. 10 years might don't change anything here. 100 years maybe only a little. Even 1,000 years don't really make such a big difference. You feel that here the time stands still.
français?
No, Alemán.
Allemand? Germany?
English.
You speak English?
Yes.
It is the old village
Yeah.
and new village.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Are you coming for Figuig or Bouafra?
Bouafra.
Bouafra, yes. And I am Mohammed. I am a guide for the village.
Okay.
And this it is the militaries. If you have your passport, please. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. You will sleep in here?
No.
Yes.
The noise of the wind in the leaves and branches sounds so familiar. The palm trees are slightly rocking in the wind. The presence of water here feels like pure magic. The entire place radiates so much peace and inner stillness. Suddenly, there's nothing more to do, just to be. Letting me fall into the timelessness of this little paradise here. These eternal moments who meets me more and more often now in my older days.
Mister?
Yeah?
Do you know the woman here writing a book in Germany? His name is Edith Kobach.
No.
Edith Kobach. I have a book.
Okay.
Yes. It is a woman, a Germany woman. He writes a book for each and Figuig and.
Okay. No, I never heard. I recognize the timelessness inside all forms and tastes, inside the moments where we really meet in love together. And if it's only a shy wave of someone beside the road, or up to staring fascinated into the eyes of our beloved one, love is all around. And why are we still so scared to really open up our hearts? I got caught into a really bad sandstorm, and I really treated myself having a hotel room for this crazy night. The hell is going on outside? No way to sleep outside today. Sand and dust flies horizontally at 60 to 80 kilometers an hour. Thorn brushes, plastic bags, plastic bottles, cans, everything is flying around like crazy. The eyes are itching, the nose is clogged with dust, but I feel like in a prison cell here for only 50 dirhams a night. I'm walking in the dunes. From above I can watch the sand drifts in little clouds flying across the plain, together with the wind, like a liquid, vivid thing made out of tiny stones. Sand drifts make patterns like we know them also from underwater or from the beach, corrugated and bent on itself, because wind is a very curvy creature like water, and it's always fast and buzzes around like a nervous fly. Wind and water seem to exist in their own time bubble, which seems much too fast for us, just as we might be too fast for trees, or to be able to maybe really understand their way of living. And trees are already way too fast for the slow movement of landscapes, as they move even much slower than we can even think. But all what changes feels to me like alive creatures. Actually, here are bushes, bugs, birds, dogs, sheep, and even some cows. Everything is still kind of alive, even here. And all is changing through time. And I believe everything is aware what is alive. And I always wondered, how might such a planet maybe feel all that, with all its senses that it has created for itself? Eyes, ears, sensations, feelings, all these senses that life has given us. By the way, isn't it just awesome that we perceive anything at all? Like, I'm cold, I'm hungry, or shit, my back still hurts. And then having to carry our big hearts on top of all that. Who might want to feel all this? And who the hell is able to feel so much anyway? Sometimes it's just too much for every one of us, isn't it? And then these endless varieties in us are multiplied again and again with each new being. And if consciousness is indeed just one in the end, as they all used to tell us, how does it feel to have all these sensations of all beings at the same time? It may feel more like a tremendous whoosh or murmur forever. Who possibly can imagine how a planet feels? And we might only be its reception cells, feeding its huge consciousness. The desert has called me, and here I am. And everything of me is here too. All my patterns, all my unresolved stuff. I stayed an entire day in stillness, walked around, sat around, meditating, stared into the emptiness, into such a very far horizon. Oh, it's so good to be here, to shake this crazy head out, the last blah blah of my endless thoughts. The scarecrow looks like an astronaut on Mars, doesn't it? I have spent so much time in hope on love relationships in my life, in order to finally be able to heal all my old traumata around love. But instead of that, they just got even more and more, with all the troubles and triggers and disappointments in that field. Meanwhile, my age, my life, and my general family conditions are far from perfect for another kind of romantic dream. But I seriously wonder, will there be ever such a perfect love relationship in my life? Or do I just have to finally accept and deal with reality? And really come to terms with the fact that I may not be able to solve certain issues within myself, and possibly not even in my lifetime anymore. Just like I don't be a top athlete anymore in my age of 59. But we all know hope is dying at last. That's how it looks when a big sandstorm is coming. And that's how it feels to be in it. So good that I have a helmet with me and my sleeping bag keeps me warm. There's nothing to do than waiting until it's over. The gusts must be easily over 100 kilometers an hour. I can tell from the noise of the wind when it hits my helmet. No way to drive, even walk down the 10 meters to the bike is challenging. The sun hurts when it hits the bare skin. Hearing music or voice messages is impossible. The storm is full on, and it's way too loud to hear anything else. I do feel relaxed like in a cocoon with my sleeping bag. The outside world is really like hell. Only inside there's some kind of safety, and not so much dust who tastes like plaster. I'm so happy to be here in the desert and not on a small sailing boat in a stormy ocean. There is still solid ground under me to rely on. These amazing forces of nature have always been so exciting to me. I actually love them. It shows us humans how small and vulnerable we actually are. I had to go to the bank yesterday to change some more cash. And again, I was surprised how you feel treated there as a customer. In these money temples, time does not exist. Outside, the busy life never seems to stop. But inside a bank, it's all quiet and slow. You feel very clear that their work is always more important than any of your demands. If you want something from them, you will have to wait. In all of these big and empty system temples, they make it very clear that their rituals are much more important than any of their customers. I really like to feel the weather. I like it to be outside, to experience extremes, feel the elements, feel the roughness of this planet. Getting away from our pushy carpet of our so loved comfort zones. I love that minimalism on motorbike journeys. Almost everything seems possible. I finally did some dirt roads what I was so afraid of to go, already for many years. I always thought I will do them when I'm not alone, just for safety reasons. First priority is to come home again healthy and happy. For that I drive very, very slow. I don't take risks. I take good rests. I drink a lot of water. I eat and sleep enough. I keep my bike and my visor of the helmet in perfect conditions. But sure, here and there I like to try something new. I love going into very lonely areas where you can't really expect any help if you would need some. With the time, my confidence in the bike and in my driving skills grew a lot. I feel so connected with this bunch of heavy metal between my legs. It's almost as it has got a fantastic body extension, like an extra big muscle. I feel just like one thing when I sit on my bike. And I know every screw, all the engine parts. I've worked through it so many times. I can hear how healthy my motor feels or what he needs to be happy again. And my motor was super happy and strong during my whole trip. A truck driver stopped as he saw me sitting there in my chair typing on my phone. He walked through the ice-cold wind to see if I'm alright. He asked me for a sip of water and I gave him. He asked if he can take me and my bike with him, but I just grinned and told him I am totally fine and I will even sleep here and will go on tomorrow. He seemed impressed and laughed when he went away again. I love encounters like that. These people are so sweet here. What an act of love to come over and see if I'm okay. The sound of the waves are washing away even my last thoughts. What an incredible and intense journey this was. Such a holiday all by yourself also means facing a lot of unknown. To be able to process all the impressions, to blow your brain through something new. And throw yourself probably into the sea of all our possibilities. I remember when I started traveling, I was always very short with money. To go into a hotel was impossible. I had to sleep outside in any weather conditions. I never went into restaurants. And I carried all my food with me. And I always filled my water up on wells and water taps. I really learned to love to travel like that, and I kept these habits alive all these years until today. It felt like I had failed when I needed a hotel, this time in Figuig in a sandstorm. I just can't go in holidays like ordinary people, and I don't mind at all. And when I lie again under the stars, and I'm looking into the deep black night sky, I always know why. But maybe I will go today into a restaurant in Nador and have some lovely French fries. Still, I have some dirhams left to spend. I thought about how much we are hesitating to do things we like because of fear. For example, if I would have had more fear, I would not went on this motorbike trip. If there's a will, you will find a way. If not, you will find excuses. 15 days. That's actually just the right amount of time, I guess. At least for much longer I can't take so many new things anyway. I'm just tired of seeing and absorbing so much new stuff. Pictures without end, impressions up to the top. But what it does to us is hugely important. It takes us out of being tied into our private comfort zones. And that's important sometimes to clear your head for new inner decisions in life. After all, we live, we are alive, and don't want to stand still or get stuck in habits that sometimes don't stay right for us anymore. Because everything is always changing anyway, always. Is it any comfort to you that change is probably the only real constant thing in all of our lives? What a funny number direct under the bridge just back in my hometown Oujda. 80,808 kilometers. 8 is infinity, 0 is nothing. Between infinity and nothing lies all our lives. It depends of what we attempt to look at it. There's always infinity more to find, and always nothing left to lose. Now I look from the other side over there. Behind the horizon is Africa. Only in my imagination I know it's there, as it was Europe before. Europe was really gone there in Africa, far away, behind the horizon, to say it in very literally words. Strange and familiar feelings to be now in my home continent again. The difference is enormous, unspeakable, only can be experienced directly. And at least one form of love could also be described as solidarity with all those who suffer too from this constant changes in life and feel challenged by it, and who were perhaps also made to try very hard with their strokes of fate, like any healthy issue or the death of close persons, etc. And we've all had to experience this in some form. And it is this solidarity that makes us feel attracted to others, isn't it? Because we recognize that they also feel the same and possibly also want it. Then why not? We are adults, grown-ups, aren't we? Getting a step closer can't be that harmful. And then just see how it might feel.